Good afternoon. This is Karen Goldner with the Women's Business Development Center in Chicago. Welcome to our Grow Your Business Online webinar. This is actually material that was prepared by Google, and I'm really happy to have so many folks joining us this afternoon. We will be recording this webinar, and so it will be available in our archived webinars if you want to go back later and look at it on our website. WBDC.org. So let's go ahead and get going. I want to start by playing a short video, and the video link here doesn't work, so we've got it all set up, and so, as you saw from that video, there's a lot of situations. I think many of us can relate to some of them. Oh, sorry, hold on a second. There we go. My bad. Okay. You know, and the point of this video is that we no longer go online. We live online, right? Every day we turn to whatever device is available to act on our needs, whether it's your laptop or increasingly, obviously, for most people, it's mobile device. So think about your potential customers and what are their I want to know, I want to go, I want to do, or I want to buy moments. Keeping this in mind, I challenge everybody to examine and maybe, if necessary, reframe your approach to presenting your business online. So rather than focusing on what you want people to know about your products and services, think about what they need, what your customers need, what they want to know. And by doing that, you can leverage what Google calls these micro moments and use them as opportunities to build relationships with people who find your business online. So some people have seen some of these statistics, but if anybody has made a large purchase in the last year, you probably have started online, right, rather than just by starting by going to the store. 80% of consumers, as it says, use the search engine when looking for information even about local businesses, and 76% of people who do a smartphone search will visit a business nearby within a day. So people are obviously using mobile devices and using the search engines to find things, right? So this isn't news. That's why you're on this call in the first place. But the point is that your online presence is likely to be a customer's first experience with your business. So it's not the store anymore. It's not you showing up and doing a service for them anymore. It is the online experience that is the initial first impression. And so you want to be again, starting to anticipate these micro moments, the wants and needs of your potential customers. That's step one right here. Then think about how the person might search for a solution on Google or another search engine, but Google is the dominant one, and that's why we're using Google products today. So what words or phrases are they likely to type in searching? And we're going to go into more depth on all of this stuff. Then step 3 is work on getting your business to appear in the results. Again, we're going to talk about this today. And then hopefully it leads to step 4, right, which is work on getting them to your website and to click through, and hopefully that results in a visit or a purchase, a lead, a sale, whatever your kind of deliverable is. So Google, well, before we get any further, we want to just take a look at just a search engine, a search page. And you've probably seen these a lot yourself. What we've done in here is have the search query, and we're going to use this Stacia's Bakery as an example in a lot of these slides. So hopefully you've already had a little bite to eat. If not, you're going to be super hungry by the time you get to lunch. So the search query here is what you type in the search bar. Below the search query, you see the search results. And that's the list of relevant information that's tailored for that search. And Google is pretty sophisticated. It's really from that place where the person is searching from at that moment of time. So at the top, you see images. And these are shopping ads that are placed by retailers. Next, you see a text ad, and it says right here, clearly, ad. Advertisers pay when searchers click on an ad. And we'll talk more about that after a bit. Then below the text ad are the natural, or they call it organic, search results. Organic results are web pages that Google's algorithm identifies as the most useful matches for this search. So this search was for Stacia's Bakery, right? Slightly misspelled, right? Because they didn't have the possession mark, right? But pretty much you're going to get Stacia's Bakery when you do this, and that, of course, are the ones that came up. Both paid advertising, because Stacia advertises with Google, and then also just the organic. So well, unlike ads, clicks on organic results are free. So if I'm looking at this and I'm looking for Stacia's Bakery and I click on this link, Stacia's going to pay Google for it. If I click on this link or this link, Stacia will not. So ads and organic results are displayed by separate algorithms. So it's important to point out that websites can't pay Google to appear in the organic results. And advertising, they say, does not influence a website's organic presence or position. So the ad search is really a completely separate search from the organic results. Finally, over here on this right side, and I'm sure that you've all seen this before if you've ever searched for anything. The screen looks pretty familiar to you. So this is called the Google My Business listing, and it's a free tool that helps you add your business to Google Search and Maps. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit, because we did a Google Get Your Business Found on Google webinar last fall that is also archived on our website. But today's session is going to talk about helping your business appear in these 3 areas of Google: the ads, the organic, and the Google My Business. Now for our agenda today. We're going to talk about 3 things that you can do right now, well, maybe not at this exact moment, but after the webinar, to grow your business online. So the first section is going to be found by local customers, and I'll show you how to connect with local searchers using Google My Business, which is a free local business listing that can help your business appear across Google Search and Maps. We're going to talk about be found everywhere on all devices, which is optimizing your website for organic search results. These are the free search results. And the focus in this discussion is going to be on making your website mobile friendly, and we'll talk about that more in a bit. And then third is going to be found with online advertising, and this is how you can promote your products and services on Google and partner websites using paid advertising. Now, I want to start out by saying that I am not suggesting that what WBDC is not suggesting you should use paid advertising for Google, but lots of people want to know how it works, and so that's what we're going to talk about. So this is free, this is free, this is not free. And then, because you're so lucky today, we have some bonus tools that you can add into the mix when you're ready, some of which are free and some of which aren't. Okay, so be found by local customers. Every month, there are billions of searches on Google, billions and billions. And most people, when they've done research, they find that most people are more concerned with their need in the moment than any particular brand. So, you know, before you saw the search field was for Stacia's Bakery, it's more likely somebody is going to, you know, search for cake or cupcake or whatever, rather than a particular brand. So the good news for you as a small business is that even if your business is brand new and unknown, you've got a shot at winning a searcher's business if your online presence helps them in a critical micro moment. So let's talk about the first thing you can do right now to help your business be found by local searchers, which is set up Google My Business. Okay, so Google My Business is, as I said, the free listing, that's what this is, that can show your critical business information, address, store hours, phone, and reviews to people across Google Search and Google Maps on all devices. So whether it's mobile, laptop, you know, a tablet, a phone, whatever, it's all, the people will see this. And it looks more or less the same on most devices, at least the ones that I've looked at. So if a searcher types in the name of a specific business, like in this instance, Stacia's Bakery, then detailed information will appear over here. So let's talk about Google's local results. And what we want to do is watch this little video.
My name is Amy Hahn. I'm the 4th generation of Bailey Seafood here in Baltimore. We're one of the oldest seafood companies in the country. Not many places can say that they've been in the family for 126 years. Bill and Nancy are my parents. My mom is the queen of crab cakes. We make anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 crab cakes a day out of the best ingredients I could possibly get. It's nice to have someplace that you can go that's friendly and there's a lot of love. This is my son, Will, 5th generation of Bailey. When people search for us, it's important for them to be able to find us. And Google's the perfect place to do that. It's neat that you can see how many people hit you on a certain day. Having that information allows us to be able to say, you know, look, we may have a crowd, and that's huge. Right now, it's oyster season. We have a wonderful oyster stew. We have wonderful fried oysters. We have this beautiful roll bar. Google can help us tell our customers what's in season. It's key to our survival. Knowing that Bailey's will still be here warms my heart. It's not a dunce hat. It's a crab hat. On a dunce. On a dunce.
So that's a great example of a business that's using all different kinds of Google products, and we'll get into more of those as we go. One thing I forgot to say at the beginning was if you have a question, please feel free whenever you want to type it into the question bar, And I will either answer it right away, or if it's something we're going to cover later, I will say we'll cover it later and just keep going. So, but feel free to do that. The raising hand function doesn't work particularly well, so don't do that because I might not see you. Okay, so Google's local results. So again, using Google My Business, you can either create or claim a free listing for your business. And these screenshots show how the business could appear on Google for a nearby searcher. So if somebody is searching for here, dandelion chocolate, right, they get, if it's on a more of a tablet, they get kind of a screen that looks like this. If it's on a smaller tablet, it's going to look like this. If it's on a phone, it's going to look like that. You've seen this, right? You've all used this. It really is hard to overemphasize the importance of mobile, because as we said before, more and more people are using their phone either as their primary device, period, or certainly when they're out and about and decide, oh, I kind of would like a snack, so is there a chocolate shop nearby, right? They're going to be doing that from a mobile platform. About half of all searches on Google are mobile, and I will say that this statistic comes from last November, so my guess is it's maybe even a little low right now. Here's something that is interesting. People that are searching on mobile phones are frequently looking for businesses nearby, right? You're out and about, you want to know a place to eat lunch, or where's the nearest dry cleaner, or whatever. So people often add the phrase near me. Near me. So the number of searches that have included that grow like 150% year over year. So people often might say restaurant near me, right? And they're using their mobile device that is GPS enabled, so Google knows where they are. Here's another interesting statistic that will warm your heart. 1 in 3 smartphone users who purchased from a company, or I'm sorry, 1 in 3 smartphone users purchased from a company other than the one they intended because the info that they got in the moment they needed it. So this has actually happened to me before. I'm out, I want to look for a particular restaurant that's kind of in the area that I'm going to be going. I do a search on it and it's not going to be open, so I go somewhere else. Or maybe I see something that's closer, whatever. So those are just important things to keep in mind as you're looking about the value of Google Local. So we did a workshop on Get Discovered on Google last fall, and it's archived in our e-learning library, which I will now read you the URL for. I didn't really have the ability to make any changes on these slides, so I'm going to read it to you. It is, when you're ready, wbdc.org, and then you go into the events, e-learning, the events tab, section on the menu bar, and then the e-learning library, and it's in our archived webinars. So it's wbdc.org/events-e-learning/archived-webinars. But if you just go into the events section, you'll see the e-learning library and you can figure it out. But to just sort of summarize, you would start this process by going to gybo.com, getyourbusinessonline.com/business, and enter your business name to see if and or how it appears across Google. Okay, so if you see your business might be incorrect on Google, then it means that the listing hasn't been claimed. That's in this situation for this nails and spa store. Or it may not have been verified by the manager, so it could be outdated. And if this is your business, then you click on it. You want to verify it, so you click on this button, verify your business info. If you see your business isn't on the map, the diagnostic tool can't find anything, and so it might not appear on Google. So then you would click Add Your Business Info, and you've gotten through the setup. So this is a one-slide summary of information that is provided in more depth on the archived webinar on our website. And so I would encourage you to take a look at that if you haven't already. Pretty much everything we're going to be talking about assumes that you are verified on Google for all this to work. Okay, so that's what this is next, verifying your business info. So once you set up Google My Business, you want to make sure to complete the verification process. And that's usually done kind of super old school by requesting a postcard. That way they can mail the postcard to your business address, and they'll have a verification code on it that you'll enter in. That prevents, you know, me or some random person from saying, oh yes, I'm Dandelion Chocolate, and I'm going to go in and completely mess up their Google presence. So in some instances, your business information might already appear on Google, or some of it might, even if you haven't completed the verification, because either Google has just picked up kind of content maybe off your website or whatever, but you still want to go in and verify it because it improves the chances that it will appear across Google on all devices, and it will also let you have the opportunity to edit it, both what is currently being shown, for instance, hours of business and stuff, but also you want to change your pictures every so often. You want to make sure that you can respond to reviews, so you definitely want to verify it. You can also add managers. So what does that mean? There's only one owner for the Google business page, and that's you, the owner of the business. But you know, if you have a store manager or a social media person or somebody else who will be kind of updating this your entries from time to time, as the owner, you can add managers. They can then pretty much do anything except shut down the business. I mean, they can't shut it down with Google. Okay, so now you've got your listing. How do you make the most of it? Well, first of all, you want to make sure that everything is complete, right? That your address and store hours are on there. If you have special holiday hours, you want to make sure that those are on there. I don't know if anybody over the recent holidays, you know, was looking for any particular thing, but I know from experience that if I did a search either on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, at some places the hours were annotated by saying something like, you know, holiday hours may vary. Well, if you go in and actually change your holiday hours, then you don't, the customers know that you're open. They would know that Jackalope Brewing Company here is open from 4 to 8 p.m. We don't have to guess, are they open on New Year's from 4 to 8, or, you know, if it's New Year's Eve, whatever. Add photos, right? People love photos, and not only do people love photos, but Google loves photos. So, you know, I personally would suggest that you have some people in these pictures. For some reason, lots of people take pictures of places without people. Now, you might not be able to take with customers without getting their permission, but you could maybe have a couple of your employees just sitting around or doing something that looks, so it's a little more interesting than that. That's just my suggestion. I know that one of my clients who I saw was on is a photographer, and she probably has even better ideas. Okay. The other thing you can do is, and this is a paid thing, but you can have this trusted photographer program that Google has, create a virtual tour if you wanted to do that. Again, to get all that process started, you go to gybo.com/business. Okay, getyourbusinessonline.com, gybo.com/business. And for more information, you can go to that previous webinar. Okay, so what's the second thing we're going to talk about? How to grow your business by building and optimizing your website so that you get good organic search results, so that when somebody types in your kind of business, the products and services that you provide, that they will find you. So here's the Google organic results. Once again, when somebody visits Google and types in a word or phrase, remember the ads are the first thing, marked by ad, and then the organic follows. So the question you want to ask yourself is, well, before I get into that, you can see how it looks on more of a laptop or a large tablet versus how it's going to look on your phone. You're probably familiar with what these things look like because you've used Google all the time, I assume. So what you want to think about, though, is what words and phrases do people search for, particularly people who are shopping, right? So Stacia wants to be found if you search Stacia's Bakery, but if that's the only way Stacia comes up, then she's going to be in trouble, right? Because what if I'm new to the area, or I can't remember her name. I love that cake that I had. Somebody brought it into work. It was so good. Where did she get it? She told me. I can't remember, right? So you don't ever want to make your customers have to think, because that's just relying on people thinking is just a bad position to put yourself in. So what you want to do is start by brainstorming a list. How would people search for your business? How would people search if they knew what type of business they wanted but didn't know the name of yours? How would people search if they had an issue or a need or a desire but didn't know what business or product or service could help? So for instance, say you're a dentist, right? So obviously you want people to be able to find you if they use the word dentist, but what if I just said toothache, right? Or I live in the Edgewater neighborhood, toothache, Edgewater, Chicago, right? To some extent, the geography takes care of itself, although I, as a searcher, may or may not know that. If I'm at home and do a search on toothache, I'm going to have much more emphasis on local dentists who are smart enough to use the word toothache in their website. So you want to think about what products and services you offer and what words people use to describe them, okay, which isn't always the words that you would use. What type of business? So Stacia's going to, bakery, but some people use the word cakery, right? Or certainly products like sweets or desserts or cakes or cookies or, all of those kinds of words, rather than just assuming, that somebody's going to type in the name of the business. This particular business appears to focus on macaroons as well as cakes, so she's going to want to have a lot of words about macaroons. And then lastly, if they have this need or desire but they don't know what could help. And so for instance, dessert, like I need dessert now. Like remember the lady with the birthday cake that the dog got into, right? So she needs a cake now. She needed a birthday cake now. But what if it had just been a nice dessert and she doesn't care at that point what kind of dessert? She's got people coming over in a half an hour and she needs something nice on the table. So she might just say dessert now. It wouldn't necessarily be macaroons or cakes or anything specific. So I would suggest also that you have other people help you with this. For me, at least, when I'm right in the middle of something, whether a business or whatever it is, and I have to come up with words to describe it, it can be super hard. So have friends or family, just kind of help you out and tell them what you're doing, and they can give you some suggestions as well that are probably things you wouldn't have thought of just because they're a little bit more distant. So your goal is to build a comprehensive list of search queries that are related to your products and services. I mean, so you're going to have, a page or 2 pages of notes of all of this stuff. And you're going to use this list as a starting point when you're working to help your website appear in search results. So let's start with your website. Does your website have? Now we're not asking anybody to to share or anything. This is all just private that you can not be embarrassed by. But these are the things that your website needs to have. And if it doesn't, frankly, there's hardly any point in even having a website. Your website needs to be mobile friendly. It needs to be well written with content that includes the words, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. It needs to be logical with some great photos. don't these photos make you more interested in ordering from Stacia's than if it was just a couple of snapshots that weren't nearly as attractive, right? There needs to be a clear call to action. So if I, as a consumer, get to Stacia's Bakery website, what does Stacia really want me to do? Does she want me to come in the store? Does she want me to call her? Does she want me to email? Looks like she wants me to call or email because she's making that super easy for me to do. And then contact information. So one tip that they say at Google is give people a reason to return to your site. So what would that be? You might have, changing information, right? So you might say, today's special at Stacia's Bakery, or this week's special at least, is this kind of cake, and next week we'll have another kind, etc. Okay, so you want to think about all of these things because they all impact your ability to appear in Google's organic search results. That also makes the website just better for visitors, but Google's magical secret formulas and algorithms all focus on these kinds of components and characteristics. So here's where you go back to that list of words and phrases that you created on the last slide. Your website should include content about those topics. If you don't, use that keyword list to generate ideas about your website content. So, if Stacia's Bakery doesn't have anything about macaroons on that in here, then you want to make sure, or she would want to make sure, that she's got macaroons written about a few times. It used to be, back in the old days of Google, that you could write the word macaroon, 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 macaroon right at the bottom of your website, and that would, you could color it out, right? But that would make it show up more. That you can't do that anymore. I mean, they figure out how to beat that game. So it needs to be in logical, well-written content, just in the body of the website. It's helpful to have a site search feature if you're looking at this logical organization piece. So if I know that I want a specific kind of, coconut macaroon from Stacia's, that I can go right in and find it easily, whether that's a search feature or whether it's a sitemap. So then this call to action is super important, right? The website's not up there just so people can ooh and ah about these beautiful pictures and admire the lovely, logical, well-written content. This is your business. So what do you want website visitors to do next? Again, there could be many right answers. Maybe you want them to call. Maybe you want them to request directions from, from Google Maps, how to get to your store. Maybe you want them to place an order, whether that's online or by phone, whatever. But whatever that next step is, encourage them to do it and make it easy for them to do it. Okay, I mentioned a little bit about mobile. So people search for answers whenever they have, that I want to know or go or do or buy moment, right, that we had seen in that video earlier. So it's not surprising that, as I said, about half of all Google searches, and probably more by now, happen on mobile phones. So we need to talk about mobile optimization. More and more new websites are being built from the start with technology that automatically optimizes the website format to best fit whatever device it's being viewed on. If you think about websites built 10 years ago or 15 years ago, for sure, they were all being viewed on more or less the same kind of screen. And that's, long ago that stopped being true. So when people do that, when the name of the technology that automatically does this optimization is called responsive web design. If you hear that phrase, that's what it means. And it adjusts the site's appearance to best present the information based on the size of the screen and the type of device. So You want to use a mobile-friendly design as an important first step, working within a mobile-friendly template. So here's some tips. You want to focus on navigation being easy and intuitive. Okay, so for instance, most of us we kind of expect that if you click the logo on the page, you'll get back to the home page. So do that. Make sure that your logo, when you click it, goes back to the home page. Keep your navigation menus short, right? So if you have, you know, a laptop or a PC screen that's 15 inches, you know, or something like that, that's, you know, a good size screen, then visitors typically don't have too much trouble using drop-down menus and sub-navigations and all that. But on a mobile, you've probably had this experience yourself on a 4-inch screen, or, you know, maybe sometimes even a little bit smaller. That's a lot harder. So you don't make people do that. So mobile optimized sites use relatively simple navigations, make it easy to search the site, and large, kind of easy to click buttons, you know, kind of like these, right? So it's easy to just click on that real easily and move on. So really think about your home page, okay? Chances are that's the first web page that a mobile visitor is going to end up at. What is the critical information that a website visitor needs? Is it a phone number or an address? Make sure that that information is front and center. Another tip, make it easy to search the site. Mobile users are often in a hurry, and site search can help them find what they want fast. Again, looking for the macaroons. I just want the macaroons, right? So it should be easy to find and use, and then you're going to end up with the strongest results first. So if I type in macaroons, I should get macaroons first, and not something that has a long list that includes macaroons among a bunch of other products that I don't care about because I'm looking for macaroons. Third, make it easy to complete tasks. So allow visitors to use the site without registering for an account. If they want to buy something, give them the option to check out as a guest. Don't make it hard, because people just say, to heck with it, I'm moving on to the next thing. And you know, you typically have as long as 3 or 4 seconds to get somebody's attention on this. So once they've decided it's hard, you're over. And if your site has forms, minimize the number of fields to make it easy to fill them out, especially fields that are required. Autofill, let people autofill when possible, and if it must be a big form, use clearly labeled progress bars to help people get through. And then lastly, you want to optimize for usability on all pages. Research shows that with mobile design, it's best to take an all-or-nothing approach. In other words, build a website that optimizes all of your pages for mobile devices, not just a few at the front. Now that you've done that, test your website. So you can use this free Test My Site, thinkwithgoogle.com site, and the test, you'll get a test score, and it will measure mobile friendliness, which is the quality of experience that site visitors have when browsing on a phone. To be mobile friendly, the site should have tappable buttons, right? It should have be easy to navigate from a small screen, and it should have the most important information front and center. It also measures mobile speed, or how long it takes the site to load on a phone. So remember, there's a couple of things that impact loading speed. It's not just the strength of the web connection that determines how long it takes. So it's not just on the phone user and whether they're on Wi-Fi or whatever, but it's also the elements on the web page. So great big fat pictures take a lot longer to load than pictures that have been optimized to reduce their size. Remember, you're putting the pictures on a pretty small screen, right? You're not building a billboard out of it. So it's not like you need a 5 meg photo in order for it to be high quality in a small environment. and people waiting, and I'm sure that you've all had this experience, as you're waiting for that thing to load, and you just want to throw your phone out the window and move on. And I have sometimes, because I'm not the world's most patient person, just exited out of that website and gone onto something that I can actually get some results from. And third, it measures, so it measures mobile friendliness. This one is good. Mobile speed, hers is poor, and it probably is as much as anything because she's got these great big pictures that have not been optimized. And then her desktop speed is a comparison, and then that's also poor. So she's got to do something about her loading times, right? Or people are just not, they're going to move on to the next bakery. So then after evaluating your site, the test generates a report with a list of some specific suggestions that can improve your score. And remember, this is all free, so this is a really good thing to note. So I would recommend that everybody write this one down right now. Just I'm going to give you a minute to do that before I go on to the next slide. So testmysite.thinkwithgoogle.com. Okay. So we've covered creating a Google My Business listing and some, oops, sorry, I'm moving on too fast. Oh, here are the other ways that you can promote your site. Put it in your print materials. Ask happy customers to write reviews. Reviews, reviews, reviews. Oh, here we go, sorry. My pages got out of order. You probably are the same way that most people are. I am. People read reviews, or at least look at the stars to help them make a purchase decision, right? If I'm in a neighborhood and there's a couple of, if I feel like eating Mexican food and there's several Mexican restaurants, I'm going to look and see what kind of reviews or stars people have, because I would like to go to one that people like more than not. Once you've verified your listing on Google My Business, you'll also have the ability to respond to reviews that are left on Google. Third, use email. And this is really email marketing, and we're going to talk about this in a bit. Don't overwhelm your customers with email. Before you send it, ask yourself, is there a good reason for every person to open this email? Or I think the better question is, if a comparable company sent me this email, would I view it as worthwhile to open, right? If not, you risk people immediately deleting your emails and then telling you not to send them, to, blocking you off of subscribe lists and so forth. And then last, use social media to develop relationships with, to build a fan base, to nurture those customers online. You can also use it to actively grow your business. For example, if your business runs by appointment, maybe you're a hairstylist, and you have a last-minute cancellation, you can use social media to let people know you have an unexpected opening. And in some instances, that can be a productive way of getting folks in the door. Okay, now be found with online advertising. So you've created your Google My Business listing. You've got a search-friendly, mobile-friendly website. So now we're on to item number 3, which is online advertising to promote your products and services. Now, again, this is paid. This is something for you to consider doing along with all of the other types of marketing expenditures that you might decide to think about. But here's, we want you to know about how to do it, not necessarily saying that everybody should go out and buy ads with Google. Okay, so again, how do ads appear on Google, right? They can be these pictures because it says sponsored, so that's how people know that it's an ad. And here, as we said before, it says ad. So the advertisements appear at the top and sometimes at the bottom of pages, above and below, but always above, above for sure, the organic results. So The images at the top here are shopping ads, so these are promoting products sold by online retailers, and then these text ads can appear below. They are paid placements. Now here's where the Google advertising gets a little complicated. Advertisers compete against each other, bidding in a real-time auction for the opportunity to show their ads on the search results page. So there's a ton of bakeries that advertise with Google. So here I am, visiting Mountain View, California, enjoying 72 degrees and sunny, and I decide that I'm looking for, this is a bad example because I've typed in Stacia's Bakery, but just bakery, right? So there's lots and lots of bakeries that could pop up. So how does Stacia's merit some of the other ones? Because not every bakery that's paying Google to advertise is showing up on this list, right? So that limited space, they're basically bidding for a very small number of slots here, is why online advertising can be effective. Ads are not randomly broadcast. They're shown to potential customers who are already looking for you. If I typed in car repair, right, I wouldn't get an ad for Stacia's Bakery because I don't want a bakery. I want my car to be fixed. So that's a real benefit of any kind of online digital marketing as compared to like a billboard, say, right, that everybody drives by, and many of the people who drive by it have no interest whatsoever in whatever your product or service is. Now, so step one is, or point one, is to remember that advertisers are competing against each other in a real-time auction to show the ad. They're competing for this space, or what people would sometimes use the metaphor of real estate. Second point, it's important to note that advertisers are not charged when the ad appears, right? So Stacia isn't paying Google anything right now. When I click on this, then Stacia pays. That's the pay per click or cost per click advertising model that you've heard of, right? Because the business, Stacia, only pays if somebody clicks through. So ads also appear on partner websites, which is known collectively, this is a great phrase, as the Google Display Network. I love that. The Display Network includes millions of websites, including Google sites like Gmail and YouTube. We'll talk a little bit about YouTube at the end in one of the bonus tools. So the Display Network helps advertisers show ads after a Google search when people are consuming relevant content. And ads are displayed when it makes sense based on criteria like the content of the page and demographic info. The Display Network also provides access to a wide range of customers and allows advertisers to showcase products and services at different points in the buying cycle. And so with the Display Network, you can try different ad formats, including more image ads. So they can be text ads, image ads, and ads on mobile sites. So AdWords Express is a platform that requires really very minimal ongoing management. I will repeat that it's a paid service, so it's not a free service. But it generates keywords and automatically fine-tunes bidding so that you can get the most clicks for your budget. But again, it is a budget, right? So you're paying for the advertising. AdWords Express pays for the clicks, and then the ads display, and it controls where the ads are displayed geographically. So if I'm in Chicago, Illinois looking for a bakery and I search on bakery, I'm not going to be bothered with Stacia, and Stacia's not going to have to pay me because Stacia's out in California, and if I'm looking for a local bakery, she doesn't care. Now, she does online bakery too, and that becomes more, she would want to be able to say, shipping cakes or something like that. But AdWords Express also lets you control your budget. And in general, advertising online, whether it's Facebook, Google, whatever, you set a budget and they spend to that budget. So you typically don't have to worry about, waking up one morning and getting a bill from Google for $10,000 or something that you didn't anticipate. So, as I said, the system generates keywords and it automatically fine-tunes the bidding so that you can get the most clicks for your money. And you don't have to have a website to show an ad. You only pay if the person clicks your ad or calls, and there's not any activation fees or cancellation fees or contracts or minimums or anything like that. So it's just kind of on an ongoing basis. And you can turn the ads on or off whenever you want without penalty. So that's how AdWords Express works. Now, sadly, I am going to have to disappoint you on this next slide because the video didn't work. So we're going to just move on. So if you're interested in advertising, you can go to gybo.com/AWExpress for AdWords Express, and enter your business details, choose a category, write an ad, decide where you want to display, set a budget, and then just launch it. And then here's a phone number if you want help with a human being. So the process is relatively straightforward. You get guided through these different steps here. Again, you want to make sure that your ads use, going back to that list that you and your friends made of all of the keywords that people will use when they're searching for you. So I'm going to leave this up for a minute in case anybody wants to write that phone number down. Okay. If you want more help than this, there's something called the Google Partners Program, which is right down here. These are online professionals, agencies, marketers, etc., who have been trained and certified by Google. The Google Partner Badge, right here, will show up that shows that they passed certification, the way people pass Microsoft certifications and so on and so forth. And so they're going to be kind of the experts. You can search for partners through this website here, and you can kind of filter by location, you can filter by geography, and so forth. And so that's another resource. This is a paid resource because these are small business, or maybe not even so small, these are business people who are, this is their business, is to help you with the advertising. Okay, bonus tools, woohoo! So we have done the Google My Business, the first thing you can do. We have talked about a search-friendly, mobile-friendly website. The second thing you can do, we've talked about advertising, which is a third optional thing you can do. I would really say that the Google My Business and the good website are not even really optional, in my opinion. If you're serious about growing your business, you really need to have that taken care of. Advertising, then you can decide if you want to do or not. So here's bonus tools. So there's a few other things, and once you've done these first 3 steps, or at least the first 2 steps, that you can check out. So here are a few of them. The first is called Google Search Console, and that helps you monitor and maintain your website's presence in Google's organic search results. Okay, so here's a few things you can do on Search Console. You can make sure that Google can access your site. You can submit new content and remove content that you don't want shown in the search results. You can monitor your site for problems. You can Search Console shows you how Google and the world sees your website. So you can see reports which will tell you which queries caused your site to appear in search results, which websites link to your site, if your site works well on mobile devices, and a lot more. And the best news of all, Google Console, Search Console is free. It used to be called Webmasters. So you can just go to this website right here and look at the reports that it would run on your website and it can be super helpful in terms of helping you diagnose what you need to do to change it. So again, Google Search Console helps you get data and diagnostics for the kind of website that Google likes, which means you'll show up higher in organic search. And generally speaking, if Google likes it better, it's just going to be a better website, and it's free. So go there. Google Analytics. So these are free web. This is another free service, and it helps you with data about the use of your website, analytics, to understand the strengths or weaknesses of it. And in order to do that, what it really is looking at is you need to understand what visitors did or didn't do when they got there, right? So it's not just how many people clicked through an ad to your website, but what happened once they were there. When you start looking at these trends, then you can see, oh, lots of people got lost in this page, or they got to this part of the website and then just stopped, whatever, right? This is called website analytics data. So analytics, Google Analytics, again, is free, and it offers a big suite of customizable reports that answer questions about the effectiveness of your site. For instance, what are people reading and viewing? How much time do they spend? If you have an e-commerce site where you're selling through your website, where are people abandoning their shopping carts? And if you advertise with Google, then that data gets integrated into the analytics report so you can measure the effectiveness of your ad campaigns. It may be that certain ads just seem to be much more successful, so you should do more of them. One of the things that a lot of digital marketing people talk about is A/B kind of marketing. So you have two different ads, right? And one of them has a different picture or some different words than the other one. And you want to use them, and see which one works better, right? And then you can get rid of the one that doesn't work. But if you only did one of them at a time, you might not necessarily know, because maybe you have a great ad, it just happened to be, around the holidays and nobody was looking for dry cleaning around the holidays, or whatever, right? But this way you can compare the two at a point in time. So the point of Google Analytics is to help you make smart decisions about your site design, content, and functionality. And again, it's free. So google.com/analytics. I'll pause momentarily so that you can write that down. And we have a question. Let me get into the question here. Okay, Courtney, the two types of paid advertising, I'm not sure I understand the question. So I guess I can't explain the second one because I'm aware of just the one. So if you can maybe clarify, I can see if I can answer the question. Sorry about that. Okay. Google Trends. So this is finding out what people are thinking about. Another free tool, and it shows the relative popularity of different keywords searched on Google over time. So, if you were going to look at vegetarian, vegan, and gluten-free, as you can imagine, those terms have been used differently over time. So if you're selling gluten-free stuff, you can see that the search period, or the interest in gluten-free maybe peaked a little bit and is coming back down. Now there may be different reasons for that, but that's some data that might be able to be helpful for you. Whereas the searching for vegetarian word has been pretty consistent over time. So the data is on a graph, a scale of 1 to 100, with 100 representing the peak search volume. And if there's enough data, in other words, if it's a word that's commonly used enough, trends can also show related news headlines, maybe, I don't know, this isn't a business thing, but Al-Qaeda, or, something like that, right? And can see, during the election, we heard a lot of news coverage about, and now one of the candidates said X, and so now all these people are searching for X. And you can use that information to compare the popularity of different words and phrases, Maybe determine seasonality. Maybe there's times of year that more people are looking for certain kinds of products than other times. That might be helpful to you when you're looking at keywords and trying to make your organic searches matter. Or if you're doing paid advertising, maybe how you might change up ads over different times of the year and geographically and so forth. And so you can go to google.com/trends. Okay. Google Alerts. So google.com/alerts is something that you can set. It's a free service about what is coming up on the web. It sends you an alert when it finds something that's interesting to you. So, you might enter the name of your business or maybe a competitor, or I know people who've done it just on their own name. So if your name shows up pretty much anywhere on the internet, within about 24 hours, you'll get a little report about that. You can track up to 1,000 terms. You can receive alerts once a day, once a week, or as it happens. And here's where you can sign up for it. It's really kind of a PR type of manager. It's also, life isn't fair. So my name is Karen Goldner. I can do a Google alert on myself, and I found out while I was doing it at one point that there are like 3 other Karen Goldners in the United States. So it's pretty manageable. If your name is Jane Smith, good luck with that, right? So, or if you happen to have a somewhat unusual name, but it is also shared by a famous person, then, Google Alert is probably not for you. But if your business name is somewhat unusual, and if there's no alert, nothing comes up. So you don't generate a lot of extra emails. But it's something that you might consider if you're kind of looking at PR types of analysis. Or if you have a particularly significant competitor that you want to kind of keep an eye on, do it on that too. But do remember that if you sign up for the daily alert, you won't get the information for at least a day. It won't be real time. If you want real time, you'll probably end up with getting more emails. Okay, I think people know about YouTube, but YouTube, there are 2 kinds of people in the world, people who only occasionally look at YouTube to watch music and other people. So 1 in 4 shoppers watch video in store for products they're considering. So you're standing at the store, you got your phone, you want to decide whether you're going to buy this household item, and you find a video about it to see if it's going to work the way you want to. Lots of people, lots of businesses, are increasingly using YouTube as a way to promote their business. So Google owns it. I didn't know that before this webinar, and now you own it too. But almost 1/3 of all people on the internet, which is over 1 billion people, use YouTube. And everyday people watch hundreds of millions of hours on YouTube. And so, the popular channels generate billions of views. So depending on the kind of business you're in, you could, maybe check out youtube.com. You can create a free channel for your business or brand, and then you can add videos about your products and services in your company. So also, don't feel like you need to have some big production budget to create videos that people want to watch. You can do a lot with even just your phone recorder, or a fairly commonly accessible video camera. So if you go to YouTube, you can see what other companies are doing, which you should do anyway. But the thing to remember is that it's not the same as maybe making videos was a few years ago. Okay, G Suite is a paid service, and this is essentially using, it used to be called Google Apps for Work, and it's essentially using Google as your business internet provider and email provider, etc. I used to work for a company that everything was in Gmail, so I had an account, an email account that was, Karen at the name of the company. So from the outside, nobody knew it was a Gmail account. But we use Google Docs, which are shared productivity document services. I mean, it's basically a word processing document, a spreadsheet document, et cetera, et cetera. You can store things and work on them together. So, you know, it's a pretty good deal. I'm not really here to sell Google products, so I'll leave it at that. But if you're interested, you know, just go to gybo.com/G Suite and you can take a look at it. You can start a free trial to kind of get a sense of how it looks and feels, and go from there. Okay, so some resources for selling online. These are really for e-commerce businesses. So Google Trusted Stores can display a badge on the website, looking like that, that lets shoppers know that the store is backed by Google, which can give people some confidence maybe in making an online purchase. And that program is free. You can apply at google.com/trustedstores right here. The second is Google Merchant Center. Obviously, here's the website for that. You can use Merchant Center to upload store and product data so that it's available to Google shopping results. Okay, so that's if you're selling essentially inventory kinds of products. You can check that out. And then once you set up Merchant Center, you can link it to AdWords, and then this is, of course, an advertising product, so you're paying for it. And you can create shopping campaigns. So it's just a more, and maybe this is the second kind of advertising that Courtney was referencing. So this becomes a more sophisticated type of advertising, but that's another option for you. So if you're selling a lot of online stuff, you really should check out Trusted Stores, and that again is a no charge. And these others are things that you might want to consider. So your next steps. To wrap up today, just to review, we talked about 3 things: how to be found by local customers in those critical I want to know or go or do or buy moments. Be found everywhere on all devices, right? Having a good website and making sure that it's mobile friendly. Mobile friendly, mobile friendly, mobile friendly. So you really can't overstate the importance of that. And then third, think about advertising on Google so that you can target offers to people, you know, when they're looking for them. And then lastly, we talked about some bonus tools such as YouTube and so forth. So in order for any of this to happen, you do need to have a Google account. So Google account is your username and password. It lets you sign in once to all of these different products. If you already have a Gmail account, you have a Google account. Or you can register another email address if you prefer, and that is free. So for all of this stuff to matter, to work, you need to create a Google account, either for yourself or for your business. And if you have a personal Gmail account, you might want to obviously just create a business Gmail account so that your personal stuff doesn't get in the middle of any of that. Okay, so here's some resources, and I'm going to leave these up for a minute. We are toward the end of the time, and gosh, we even went over a little bit, so thanks for your patience. There was a lot to learn. But here's, if you missed any of those URLs earlier, here they are for you again. And as Google says, because the person who wrote this little script clearly has a sense of humor, you can always do a Google search for them too and find them. And I hope that you found this helpful. Again, we will be having this up on our website archived. It should be available by like tomorrow probably. And that's wbdc.org. This is the Women's Business Development Center in Chicago. If you are interested in talking with us further about any of this or have some other questions, we'll see what we can help you with. You can check out our website, wbdc.org. If you're in the Chicagoland or Illinois area, we provide advising at no charge, business advising at no charge. And so hope that in addition to this information today that you do check out our website and see if we can help you grow your business. So we're going to leave this up for another minute or two just to help people who are writing things down. But otherwise, I'm going to say goodbye and have a great afternoon.